be. Torrey Sims, you think we may lose a coach or two? Absolutely. Every team pretty much does. That's the norm. To think that we won't see that we're pretty much any major power out of the top 20 schools in the country, there might be one, maybe two that doesn't lose a coach. It's just par for the course in today's era. Payton is an okay 5 tech. He got through a lot because of slide protection and chipping, blah, blah, blah. He needs to put on weight and develop. He won't be paying kids. Yeah. Corey Hall. Look, Payton is an edge rusher that still needs to get stronger if he's going to play in the NFL. If he was ready for the NFL, there wouldn't be any discussion about NIL. He'd just go. So Corey Hall's right. He needs to get bigger, needs to get stronger, and get a little bit better. He's still good, but he's not elite. I'm not worried. FSU has been superb with the portal. We might lose some, but I'm sure we will win some. Post of the day, Show Enough DJ. 1,000,000%, brother. Star for you. That is fact. Who wouldn't want to play for Florida State? Well, a lot of guys, apparently. I mean, they lose more recruits than they gain, just like everybody else. But right now, it's kind of hard not to argue they're attractive. That's the number one thing. Are you attractive to kids that maybe 2 years ago would have been like Florida State, meh. But now, after a 10-3 season and a 13-0 season and going to a big bowl, you're going to open more doors, 100%. I seen Locked On Big 12. They said they'll love to have FSU. Yeah, well, the Big 12 is not getting zero chance that's going to happen. Big 12 about to tank. I don't know if it's going to tank, but they still have a lot of TV contracts. And you got to remember, where's their TV primarily at? Oklahoma, Texas, that area. Oil money. They'll be just fine. There is no tank. There is no doubt. Look, it's about the people consuming. They can sell advertising at a higher rate there because of the oil money. Period. Let's see. Showing up, DJ. It's a dying conference in some ways, but that's not how contracts work with TV money, though. I'm telling you, that's not an opinion either. It matters who's in the conference, the oil money and all that. It's a little easier for them to sell advertising than you think. As long as we don't lose Atkins, well, that would be a good thing. That's what Torrey says. Any 5+ million NIL deals getting floated in the country this year, portal or high school. That's from Benjamin. If there's a $5 million deal, I sure as heck don't know about it, and that would be ridiculous. There's nobody worth $5 million. Sorry, bro. There's nobody worth $5 million. But anyway, that's to that point. That's a pretty ridiculous total. It is what it is, but that's pretty high. I like Cam Ward's going to be the highest paid player in the portal. I'm pretty sure. But even if he is, he ain't getting $5 million. I can't imagine. The only way I guess it's possible. We'll talk about that here in just 1 second, though. First off, speaking of spending, if you're going to get something taken care of for you and you're going to go out of your way to make it happen for the holiday season, trying to hire for your business, your small business, LinkedIn Jobs. If you have not checked them out, please do so now. When you're hiring for a small business, you want to have as many top-tier candidates as possible to interview. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. Check them out because, even if you're a small business, retail, holiday help is very important. They've got screening tools that fit what you want, that gets you the right people in front of you for interviews. So, call to action here. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, here's the deal. I'll get to more comments here in just 1 second. Over the next week, I said this early for those of you that just came in, we're going to see a whole bunch of kids commit, even maybe a few quarterbacks, just kind of rehashing. Patrick Payton aside for a second, you're going to see some trends. Once some of the top guys make announcements in any position, there's a few I know about. I'm just waiting for them to pop around the country. But there's going to be a few surprises too, like Brock Vandegrift, a kid I used to know when he was in high school. He just transferred from Georgia. He's going to Kentucky. Good for Brock. Go get him, brother. But at the same time, not everybody is really all that surprisingly going to make any predictions on it because the portal is so wild right now. Everybody I talk to is just like, dude, I don't know what's going on. I haven't talked to one person that feels comfortable with how fast this is moving. Not one. So keep that in mind. Also, and this is very, very, very important, it only takes one guy to kind of change your team. Think about Keon this year. It's not the number of guys you get. It's the talent that you get. And, of course, fit and all that. But you got to rely on the coaches at some point. So let's please keep that in mind. So, all right, I don't know where I was. Let's see. Big Ten for Florida State and Clemson, according to Serge OG. Man, maybe. I mean, it depends on the money. And if they're willing to help them get out of the grand rights, it could be. I was watching Florida State show earlier that said it's a lot of situations right now because it's talent trying to get to Tallahassee, real good talent. So it's going to be some big decisions coming. That's K-Jack the Great. Well, I mean, it depends on how much money they want to spend on NIL. Do they want to spend more on the players in the portal? You want to mix it up between top, like KJ Bolden or something, and that's coming in high school? And those are great questions. I don't know the answer to that. Again, that's all internal. That'll come out afterwards, but it's pretty common to see that kind of situation unfold. Olmec Supreme, do you think we will see a Power 4 20-plus team? Probably. Could be the SEC or Big Ten, and probably. It'd be kind of unrealistic to think that it's not going to happen at this point. Just a matter of when, not really if. Insane Mob, what will Florida State do to the country? Back when Florida State was a coach, it was love. Once he left, it's like the narrative changed, and now it's Florida State ain't good enough. What happened? I don't know. Times are just changed in general. I mean, a lot of people liked Bowden, for one. I think that's part of it, but it's money. Marvin Morris, you got to do what's good to keep a kid like Pat Payton. He has unlimited talent. There's truth in that, but again, there's got to be a limit. There still has to be a dollar amount where it's no. And I don't know what that is because they're the ones that know how much money the Battle's End has, not Brian Smith. I'm not here to even remotely guess. Corey Hall, insane. They ain't love us. And Bobby, we used to be road warriors and go into their stadiums and kick butt. And we were winning, but ESPN been against us since 2014. Interesting. Gary Roach, do you think some of these portal guys are just testing for money and will stay, work out NIL? There could be some bluffing because that happens in the NFL. This is from Gary Roach. Gary brings up a really good question. I want to read it again. Do you think some of these portal guys are just testing the market for money and they will stay, work out an NIL deal? It's possible. I mean, it's still a contract. You have to give and take. I would imagine more will stay than leave because, as noted, they've been winning. A little easier to promote when you've got a program that's doing the right thing on the win-loss record, this situation. Fisk going to the portal or not? Isn't Fisk done? I thought he was in his last year of eligibility. That's from Benjamin. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Fisk is done. Brock's dad coached me in high school in Baton Rouge. Oh, but dang, show enough DJ. Hypnotimus. All right, quality over quantity, 1,000,000%. Florida State needs that, definitely. Carolyn Roan. This is Christopher Lee Miller. What's up, Florida State Seminole fans? Go Noles. Insane Mob. If KJ goes to Auburn, good luck to him, but Florida State is going to be all right. It'd be easier with KJ, though. Insane Mob at Corey Hall. They hated back when Bobby coached, but they never said we weren't good enough now. Let's see. Yeah, Fisk is done. KJ, yeah, I thought he was. He was good, man. He played really well in that Louisville game, too. Let's see. Hypnoti, I think he means players like Fisk. I mean, I don't know if there's a D tackle in the portal like Fisk other than the obvious, a certain young man from Texas A&M. I have no idea where he's going, but I would assume it's going to be Tennessee, Georgia, or Bama. He's from Tennessee, and those are the other schools kind of involved. Maybe Oregon, or LSU. But yeah, I wouldn't put a lot of stock. Let me see something here real quick. What is the latest top person in the portal? I'm pretty sure it's going to be Walter Nolan, and it still is. Walter Nolan, Cam Ward, those are the top two guys as the way it's listed. So a kid you might hear some news about is Trey Moore, an edge out of University of Texas San Antonio. He's rated really high. I don't know anything about him, but that's why it's so unique, man. Sometimes guys get bypassed and end up being really good. You just don't know. So we'll see. What else we got here? K-Jack, how do you feel about Grayson McCall? I think he's really good. He's only thrown a handful of picks in like 5 years. The guy's very careful with the ball. Florida State would do pretty well to get him, to be honest, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. If you can get a guy for a year and somehow kept at least one of the two younger quarterbacks, plus you got Chromahawk coming in, you would have a bridge gap year. I think you'd win 8 or more games with McCall. Might even win 10 or more. You know, Pitt, who else they get? There's a lot of ifs there, but he would give you a chance in every game. Valuable quarterback. He's a guy I think that could do pretty well. Daquan Finn, I have no idea what's going on with him. I saw he's in the portal. For those of you who don't know, he's a pretty good player, but he was at Toledo. Hard to project those kind of guys. He's a quarterback. He can run pass. I don't know. It's so difficult to pick. Does a kid like that end up playing well at the Power 5 level? You're guessing. And I don't know the young man at all. Would know him from Adam if he walked up to me right now. So it's a good question, though. Hypnotic, I believe that Florida State would do well to get somebody like that, but it's not a lock. To rehash here real quick, Patrick Payton had a post up about going to the portal, blah, blah, blah. He's taken it down. There's been discussion about whether that was NIL related. Everybody seems to think it is. Even a number around $1 million has been floated. How accurate is that? I don't know. That's what the crux of this conversation is. But I also wanted to bring up another point that I brought up very early in the show and bring it back up. These kinds of things are setting a trend here. Every team has to be ready, from AD, head coach, assistant trainers, everybody. You have X amount of money, roster, NIL, recruits, whatever the total is. How are you going to allocate it? And whether you want to hear it or not, there's going to be a snafu every single year, probably multiple, because somebody you think is worth X, they think they're worth double. And it's a player, maybe he's not great, but you're thin at that spot. Do you overpay or you risk it in the portal? These kind of questions will change your roster, man, and they'll change your win-loss record. Excuse me. Any idea how much it costs an NIL in a year to pay for a player? No idea. I have no idea. Sometimes it's boosters that have like their own mortgage company. Sometimes it's a big box company like Reebok and Under Armour and Nike and stuff. They give these kids things. Beats by Dre does a lot of stuff with these kids. Sometimes they have connections with them, and every school is a little different. Sometimes kids get their own shoe or like their own slide, something like that. It's pretty wild. But every school does it a little different. Like the NFL, here's the salary cap. Everything's the same. Not that way in college. They didn't do a very good job setting this up. I like Grayson McCall. That's what Mickey Mason says. I do too. He's a good quarterback. Corey Hall, insane. They just had to put an SEC with its money, Disney, ESPN, ACC product too, but it's trash. SEC is the cash cow. If Georgia had won, FSU would have been in. It's wild, man. It is wild. But what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? All right. I have to get to another podcast that I have been summoned to for a kid's commitment. Before I leave, I do want to make one more comment, and that's that we're just getting on the cusp of this. Remember, this is day 3 of the portal. There will be more Patrick Payton stuff. There will be something about a quarterback, probably by Sunday, that Florida State's doing this or that, or somebody's visiting. There'll be a new name at a key position, maybe a corner. All this stuff will be random. It's not like recruiting where in weeks in advance we know the visit schedule. It's not the same. I'm out on the recruiting trail at a 7-on-7 event getting all this. I don't get to talk to these kids. They just announce something on social media. It's wild. So we don't have a chance a lot of times to know when kids even get in the portal. Sometimes the coaches at the school don't, FSU included. It's random. For Payton today. So keep that in mind. K-Jack, the kid Oben from Duke is taking a visit next weekend. He's pretty darn good, yeah. I've seen Oben play several times. KJ, he's really good. I think he needs to be a little more physical against the run. He's a better pass rusher. I think Riley Leonard's going to go to Notre Dame. That might be hard to beat them if he goes up there, and they need DNs too. But Florida State's got a spot to sell because obviously a certain guy by the name of Jared Verse is going to the NFL. So we'll see. Don't call it a playoffs. It's an invitational like the Maui Classic. I think Patrick Payton just wants to leave FSU because that's outrageous, but we will take him. Oh, yeah, right. Young Bucks. Whatever, buddy. That's hilarious. All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Everybody be safe. I will talk to you very soon. I'm not sure what tomorrow's show is going to be about, but Lord only knows with everything that's going on. It could be about just about anything because it seems like every time I open up social media, it's something different. It's just been wild. I don't expect tomorrow to be any different. But anyway, everybody be good. I will talk to you all very soon.